You're not going to have much downtime. It's pretty phenomenal.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow. Well.
Kevin indeed picking up where he left off yesterday. Flopping the absolute dream versus Doug, who also has flopped a strong hand with trip fours.
Yeah, I think this pot is going to get out of hand very quickly. Kevin just calls.
Kevin does just... Yeah.
And a club for Doug.
The good news for Doug is, if there is any, they're very, very deep. So he's not going to lose too much here. You know, you're not... In a single raise pot, you're not going to lose 250 big blinds with trip fours.
The five back? There's some different version of it. You got the fly swatters ready?
Yeah, we got the fly swatters.
You got the shoe?
We got to fly back early today.
Kevin mulling over whether or not to slow play or check raise on this turn. He's going to slow play. Some disastrous rivers for Doug, a club or a 7. But no, it's just a 5. Chat really expecting these players to get in 12 more bets on this river with how much they think Doug is going to bust. Don't worry, guys. Doug is not going to get stacked here, but he's going to lose a lot, that's for sure. He does go for the over bet. Yeah, 11,200. Crab with a full house is certainly going to raise. Doug is not going to call quick.
Yeah, whenever you're overbetting and then face a raise, I don't think that's a position anyone likes to be in. At least if you don't have the nuts.
Kevin mulling over what size he wants to raise. Let us know in chat what you think you're going to see here. How much Kevin is going to make it. What size is Kevin going to go for here? He's facing a very polarizing bet here. With this bet size, Doug is saying he either has an extremely strong hand like a 4, or he has a total bluff.
$44,000.
44,000?
Ooh, that's a rough one.
44,000.
Let's think about this. So I'm going to have to... 44 to win. So about 30-ish%. 4 spades is the best card, I think. Maybe 4 clubs is actually better. Think about that. Four is better than a straight.
Doug's saying he'd rather have a 4 here than a straight because at least the 4 blocks a full house.
Blocks boats.
Oh, there's these two. So it's basically a boat. Yeah, it's not these two. It's basically a boat. So trips are better than straights. 4 off.
What other hands do you think Kevin would make
Obvious bluffs.
this play with?
of threes.
It's tough, man, because a lot of the hands that like to bluff in these spots are hands that are like 2-pair, so like 5-3 in this
Right.
spot would really like to bluff. But Kevin can't have 5-3 because he called a
All
flop
right,
bet.
I'm gonna go pure flip.
So what is he bluffing with?
Pure flip, baby.
He's gonna flip for it.
I'm locked in.
Classic.
I have 2 cards. One is a 7 and one is a 4. If I flip over the 7, I'm folding. If I flip over the 4, I am calling. We got a pure flip here. Ready? And fold.
Wow.
And Doug flips the right coin, saving that $33,000 raise. Wow,
Hope I
great
won the
fold
flip.
from Doug there.
Less exciting than the last flip. The 2 aces in a row was really
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Wow, I did not see myself folding in that hand on the flop. Then I turned to flush draw, and I'm like, well, I'm definitely not folding anymore. Raise.
I do remember just hearing that he was always like, I mean, because he did have some kind of like custom program.
He did, yeah.
So like whatever that was,
And it probably got some
it was probably making it a lot easier for him to do that kind of research, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It wasn't like what we have now, but I'm sure it was making that whole process easier.
He definitely had
Wow.
some stuff that was ahead of its time. I mean, they competed in that bot challenge in like the Calgary thing, or is it Calgary or is it?
Oh,
No, it's Alberta.
University of Alberta, right?
Is where they hold it, right?
Yeah.
It's like the bot
Which
challenge.
might be in Calgary, I'm not sure.
I know that his bot competed in there. The university ones I think were better than his bot if I remember correctly, but it's been a few years now.
Well, Kevin has flopped extremely well.
Players were talking about sauce
All
1,
right.
2, 3 there.
Let's see about the
Yeah,
player
as
board
Kevin
sauce.
flop squads. And he goes for the check raise.
Just having the best hand.
Is that quads? What? I was like, this guy's been just peppering me up on these paired boards. Like, he's full of shit, but I got like, no, I can't flip this shit. Wow.
That's such a funny one to raise too. I'm just like, well, I'm just never gonna get action here, but
Yeah.
I mean, just pray he has a 6 and puts in tons of money with it. $32.
Kevin's got the aces again. He had those 6 times yesterday.
Was it 6? That's outrageous. I don't think I've seen six
It is a lot.
aces within like a month. He gets them in a heads-up match within 8 hours. Added to the pile.
Doug's going to come with a bet here versus this check, drawing pretty thin. But Kevin probably doesn't love that flop with his aces. Doug picks up a straight draw. Someone saying in chat, no wonder Kevin won yesterday if he had aces 6 times. To be fair to Kevin, he really didn't make the money with his aces. Obviously, getting aces 6 times is amazing, but the money he made was running good in other ways. And of course, playing great as well. Don't want to detract from that at all. Doug goes for a bet on the turn here with his straight draw. This is an interesting spot. Obviously, Doug can just hit that 9 on the river and have the best hand, but I'm pretty sure if the river is any spade, Doug is going to be able to successfully bluff here. That's one reason Doug is going to bluff with a hand like this, which doesn't have that much equity, because if the river does come a spade, he actually has something to bluff with. But that's not going to happen. We get the 7 of diamonds river. There's a one-liner to a straight now, though. Any 9. Doug is reaching for a big stack of chips here. He's going to put Kevin to the test.
Appears to be 30,900. Let me confirm that first.
That's a big bet from Doug. Over 1.5 times the pot, it looks like.
30,900. I'm sure
Yeah, this puts aces in a pretty
Yeah, 1.5 times the pot.
miserable spot.
Yeah, I wonder if Kevin would prefer to have the ace of spades in his hand here. I think he would. So these aces are not as good as if he had, say, ace of diamonds, ace of spades, because the ace of spades blocks those flushes. There is another side of that, though, which is Doug might bluff with the ace of spades in his hand.
He gets
Wow,
it
Doug
through.
gets it through.
Fun card here.
Gets it through. Yeah, I always get confused a lot about the competing incentives of blockers.
Oh,
Ace deuce.
the other one was better. Queen, deuce of hearts.
Queen deuce. Oh, brutal.
Nicely played from Doug.
But weren't they the same dealers who were dealing days 1 and 2? Like, they should have been familiar by then, right?
Did you?
Maybe it wasn't the
Did
same
you
dealers.
in your match? How was the shot clock usage?
I guess I maybe wasn't paying so close attention.
We had some people that didn't really know how they.
32.
I lost this one time bank where the action was on me, and I looked and they're like, all right, one time bank. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, damn, I can't believe I thought about that for 30 whole seconds, and then I realized afterwards that they weren't resetting it on the player change. So basically, someone took 20 seconds, went to me, and then I was in my own world, so I thought that.
You just had like 8 seconds left or whatever
Yeah.
because they never reset it.
And then I realized they were doing that, and I'm like, I think I realized why I lost the time bank here.
Yeah.
Poorly timed 4-bet from Doug here with Queen 10 off. I'll get back to what I was saying with Crab earlier in a moment. So now they're very, very deep. If these players were 100 blinds deep, Kevin would easily be going all in with pocket queens here. Kind of a no-brainer. But when you're this deep, it's kind of dicey to 5-bet. You want to have a very tight 5-betting range. And indeed, Kevin is just going to call. Good flop for queens.
$6,400.
That goes for the small bet. This is going to be a tough pot for Doug to win.
He's gonna have to get awfully creative.
Or he's going to need some very specific turns and rivers.
Wow.
Oof. The case queen. Doug makes top pair, Kevin with top set. This pot's already quite big, though, when the flush did come in, so Doug's not going to go crazy with this top pair. But he is fairly likely to lose at least one more bet. See how he decides to play it on the turn. He's going to go for the bet, it looks like. I assume he was randomizing this turn.
11,200.
Very small bet. Third pot. Kevin in a very interesting spot here. I think you have to just call. Doesn't feel great, because it does feel like Doug is going to check back a lot of rivers after betting this size. But do you really want to raise when both players have some flushes in their range? Maybe. We'll see what he decides to do.
There's the call.
55K in the middle. Biggest pot of the day, if I'm remembering correctly. Doug hits 2 pair, but it's the 4th diamond on the river. It's pretty likely to just go check, check.
Wow, even when Doug manages to hit 2 pair, he's just
Hearts, 10 of
up against the set.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kevin calls Doug exact
Lost
hand
less than
without even seeing it.
Raise.
Looks like Rick hops in chat to make a great point. If you guys are enjoying the high stakes heads up action in front of you, hit like, hit subscribe. If you are new to the channel, welcome to
11,000.
the large live stream. Means the world to us. Costs you nothing.
This one's gonna heat up a little bit, especially if
It's
we
like
see any more clubs on the
100-ish
flop.
to
I
start?
don't think Doug is gonna fold to this 4
Well, I had
bet.
79 plus the 25,
Okay.
and then I won a small amount, so
Gotcha.
105, 110.
Clear call for Doug versus the 4 bet. These are kind of nice hands to have. Not a bad flop for 9-8. Honestly, Kevin, not a bad flop for King 4 either. This one could get interesting. No clubs though, so we're not going to see a super nasty cooler in this one. Kevin checks back on the flop. Oh, that's a good card for 9-8. I think Doug's luck might be turning around, everyone. Hitting a straight in a 4-bet pot. It's always a good feeling.
Certainly a nice hand.
Crab calls Doug's turn bet. Doug went for a big size, too. Jack on the river. I think that connects with a good amount of Doug's bluffs, like the 9, 10, or rather, sorry, the Jack 10s, Jack 9. Although Jack 9 might fold to the 4 bet. Not positive how he plays that. What bluffs does Doug have here? Ace 2 suited, maybe? Queen 10 suited? Would those hands bet the turn?
All in.
Hard to say.
Wow. This is the 2x pot
Doug overbets all in.
jam.
This is definitely targeting a hand like a 3 or an 8. I don't think Kevin's hand is ever supposed to call. He's going to think it over because he's a methodical player, just to make sure this isn't something that he should be maybe considering it with, but pretty sure Doug's bet here is basically designed to stack a hand like a straight or a hand set or 2 pair. I don't think he's expecting to get hero called by like a jack here, for example, or a 4 like Kevin has. But we'll see.
There's the fold.
He does let it go.
That's it.
Oh, nice pot to Doug.
Oh, really?
What does that mean?
Nice hand,
Hit the
not
nuts
really.
and Try and stack somebody.
Can you name a country? Like, just a country.
Oh, like any?
Literally just a country.
Wow.
And just clips together all the people who, like, blanked out and had no idea, and, like, point to Brazil and say, like, Africa.
All you have to do for that is just go volume and then edit
Yeah.
into the best ones,
Yeah.
and you're good.
I'm sure that's what they do.
Yeah.
3,200.
Raise make it 3,200.
Doug not going anywhere with ace-jack. Whether or not he will call or 4 bets. I think there are options for both.
King 4's been kind of an exciting hand for Kevin today.
Sure
As we
has.
see Doug put in that 4 bet. King 4 is the hand that Kevin had when he flopped the boat against Doug's trips on King 4-4 when Doug had 7-4. And Doug ended up making a pretty heroic fold on the river. Then there was another hand where Kevin 4 bet with King 4 suited and then ended up losing a good amount of money against Doug, who turned a straight. And now here we are again. He's facing a 4 bet with the King 4 suited.
$24,500.
Wow. I think this is the first 5 bet we've
in a
seen
5
across
bet.
2 days.
How much do you have bind?
I can check. This is about 80.
Okay, thank you.
Things are heating up here. 5 bet.
Call.
Call.
And Doug will make the
First one
call.
we've seen. $50,000 nearly in the middle going into this flop. Interesting flop. Doug has 2 overs in the backdoor flush draw, plus obviously that straight draw. Kevin completely misses.
Yeah, this is not the flop you hope for when you 5 bet King 4. You 5 bet anything, really.
Yeah, actually, this is a really, really bad flop for the 5 better. Because the guy who 5 bets is going to have aces, some kings. I literally don't even think he would always 5 bet kings, by the way. That's how narrow the 5 betting range is, and that's why we haven't seen so many of them. Check, check on the flop. Ace on the turn. Doug has Kevin dead in this $50,000 pot, but he's going to have to not fold. So anyway, Kevin would 5 bet with a hand like an ace-X hand, maybe like ace-5 suited, could 5 bet sometimes. Obviously, this like King 4 suited type of hand, this high-low suited situation, those are often the 5 bet bluffs. And then aces. Aces doesn't even really love this 10-8-7 flop. So overall, Kevin's range is just really hurting. What a clean run out for Doug here. Does Kevin want to bluff here?
Colin?
I was about to say, I'm not sure what size he would use other than
Need a
jamming.
count.
That is awesome. What a
What a
jam
great hand.
from Kevin Rabichow. This is an absolutely disgusting spot for Doug, too. Like, what in the world do you beat?
79.7.
Is there any way I can fold?
Yeah, so it sounds like Doug's initial instinct is this is a clear call. He's just kind of thinking, is there any way I can
Words,
fold
don't think
this?
so.
Yeah,
How much
I
was
tend
it?
to agree.
79.7.
I'm almost certainly going to put it in, but just take it a moment. 79.7.
That's not what you want to hear when you have just jammed nearly 80,000.
70.
Crab could definitely have pocket aces. Ace king, maybe. That's what he's representing. Such a narrow range.
In the call.
Not what you love to hear when you're bluffing.
Wow.
Nice hand.
Monstrous pots. $208,000 on a bluff from Kevin Rabichow. That is going to put Doug solidly
And then we'll,
on the winning
sounds good.
side
I'll get some change from you,
of
probably.
this heads-up
we'll do.
match.
Put this here so they can make it.
Absolute insanity. That hand was wild.
You know, on that board, you might just like, maybe you just start countering it by checking like 20% of flop straights or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just fine, but
Well, that stuff happens more deep too,
yeah.
to make up for the fact that the solver will
32.
just pile 450 big blinds in spots.
Yeah. I was finding lots of that
So
stuff.
calls
Like
the
I
3-bet?
reviewed the hand histories from Ruse playing like a different bot. And there were tons of hands like that.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to look through.
Yeah.
Stuff you just never see.
The problem with it is you have to be so precise, and if you're off, it can be off by so much.
That's 1600.
It's kind of difficult.
16. Oh.
Doug picks up equity on the turn. This would just be so unfair.
It really would be.
He might not get to see a river, though. Might not get to see a river.
See, Cinnabon has joined the chat. About time, Cinnabon.
Oh, looks like he might get a river.
Doug is up pretty big right now. Check out hand 214.
Yeah, Doug's up about... Good call from Greg there. 214's a banger. Doug's up about 240K right now. But he's falling into this trap from Kevin.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh my. Wow. Oh, it's painful actually to see. Doug is just
Dude,
runner to
it's tough.
straight.
This is how heads up is sometimes, man. It just like feels unfair sometimes. Like one guy's just running better than the other. Let's see what size Doug decides to come with here. 22,000 in the middle. We are going to be streaming that tournament on Saturday and Sunday, by the way. Someone in chat asked. $15,800 is the wager. God, it's such a good hand for Crab to have.
Have it.
Yeah, you got to call.
There's the call. Wild.
That was a dirty one.
That was a dirty one indeed.
That was a dirty one.
Mr. Polk.
I even had the king.
Oh, oh my lord.
Ace was offsuit. The jack was offsuit.
Yeah.
Had to give that one some thought.
I had ace 10, no spade. It was a pretty easy fold.
3,200.
32.
Considered like 40%.
Doug definitely has
pot
some
also.
hands that make backdoor spades.
I don't know if that changes the outcome there.
I don't know. I mean, it's such a bad situation for ace 10 there.
It is.
And like, I want you to have 10, 9, 10, 8. It's just like very difficult to find. I need a degree of hero without a spade there.
Yeah. 4,200.
Bet 4,200.
We're almost to 1,000 likes, guys. If that happens,
This could
I'm gonna
be
smile real big. And don't you want that? Doug picks up a double gutter. Now hit a 9 or a king for the straight. Obviously can also hit a jack for trips. Kevin's not going to stop betting here with top 2.
$10,500.
Bet 10,500.
big bet. I don't think Doug is folding.
Call.
Doug calls pretty quickly here.
Wow.
And there it is. When you are running hot, you are running hot.
Especially when Doug Polk is running hot. The guy that can have every bluff you could think of. Probably a few more.
Check.
Kevin will check it.
See what size Doug comes with here. 36,000 in the middle. If he's bluffing here, it's going to be with a hand like King Jack. Maybe Queen King. Something like that. Maybe some low flush draws like 8-7 of clubs. Maybe he'd bluff with that. It's a pretty tough spot though, man. I don't know if Kevin can fold this.
Straight.
And there's the call. Another huge pot. Sliding over to Doug. And I do think Kevin is starting to feel it.
Keeping you honest.
Oh no.
Yeah, you could lose to a bluff there.
Yeah.
These are two really good hands.
Raise.
Doug 3-bets with kings. Kevin almost always going to 4-bet with these queens. This could get expensive.
This could certainly get expensive very, very fast. Depending on run out.
I'm very curious to see what Doug does should Kevin put in the 4-bet here.
I want to say we saw Kevin flat queens versus the 3-bets
About how much do you have
earlier,
left?
I will check.
but he does not this time.
$110.
Okay, thank you.
Doug is just gonna call. I kind of suspected this.
And time for some
When you're
flatting
this
4-bets.
deep, you can really only 5-bet with aces for value. Maybe kings sometimes.
Oh, no.
Oh, and we get the queen on the flop. Kevin takes the lead. Doug with the diamond, though.
$14,000.
That's 14,000.
Pretty big bet size from Crab right out of the gate. 14,000 in this 4-bet pot. A lot of times in 4-bet pots, you see smaller bets. He's going about 2/3 here. Doug, of course, not going to go anywhere yet with kings. Got shot. He beat some bluffs. Although, honestly, it's really not a good flop for kings against a 4-bet. I guess that's pretty obvious.
He will call.
Check.
10 on the turn. Doug's straight outs are now dead. I wonder if Doug can just fold to a turn bet here.
Can he? Maybe.
King of Diamonds. Yeah, the King of Diamonds is not really a good card to have.
300.
30, he said 33.
33.
Yeah.
33.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
33,000.
Yeah, he said 33, yeah.
So, big difference.
Yeah, it's
33,000.
it's an important difference for me. I could have, at 3,300, he's got a customer, but I think for 33, I'm gonna have to let that one go.
Doug
You
lets
could
it
hear me
go.
even like, well, you probably didn't hear me say 1,000, but right after I was like, that could be confused. I'm going to say 1,000.
I mean, it was obviously 1,000, like, it would have been ridiculous. Like, no, I mean 100. Like, get out of here. You do not mean
I'm
100.
going for 7%.
33,000
I'm going
stamps.
for 7% potting position here.
Thanks for coming
Great
out.
to see these guys battle. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
That's
for
fun.
sure.
Yeah.
It has been a privilege.
Some fun hands.
Yes, many. I'll have to. I have this habit
So
of
those
like
final
completely
winnings
forgetting
for
hands
you.
The moment they're over. So
Well, luckily, every
Once
single one
again,
is
yeah,
recorded. so you can go back.
275,000,
and spend some time
just
with that.
under
Yeah,
200,000 on the session.
The
He came out on
interesting-
top
the most
with
interesting
quite a
hand, I think, like
swing
the King 4
here in the last
regen.
half.